Excited to say that Dublin and the FINA Camogie player Orla Gray is with us. How are you getting on, Orla?
I'm doing well, yeah. Good. In good form.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how looking forward to Championship Camogie are you?
Definitely a scale to 10.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, all the way.
Because I see the GPA this morning are polling, obviously, the male players in terms of whether or not they want to go out and actually play an inter-county championship this year. And I'd be interested to see the results of that, because my initial sense was that every inter-county player across all codes wants to play this winter, right?
Yeah, well, I think, like, may as well get the chance to play it, and, like, we're not going to get the chance this, like, we didn't think we were going to get the chance to play the championship this year, and we're lucky now that we are sticking to the protocols and going along with the guidelines, so hopefully it goes ahead anyways. And
I guess as well, there wouldn't be any problem that teammates would have with another player on their side pulling out for their own personal reasons or for taking an independence on themselves.
Yeah, no, there's no fault in that at all. Like, completely understand. Everyone has their own opinion of the whole situation. So take it as it is every day.
Yeah, and maybe that's the way they go. Tipperary is your first game in the championship. Yeah. How have preparations gone for that, or what level of preparation have you been able to do?
We've been prepping well now. We've challenge matches up like again on Sunday. We had one last night and one on Saturday. So we're kind of prepping well, getting the whole string of the game plan. We have Nigel O'Hara on board as well as our coach. So he's doing a brilliant job with training, giving us all these the setups for puck outs, everything. That's brilliant. Like, can't fault the setup at all.
When you talk about those setups for puck outs, is that a new development this year? Is it a game plan that you've had from the previous years, or how has that worked?
It's slightly different. We had kind of a similar role, but we've 3 different options there for the puck outs.
So you have like an A, B, C, and everybody knows the trigger, and And who's calling that?
One would be Nigel. One would be the keeper itself, and the other is the full or the centre forward.
Right. So you almost know if it's option A, B, or C by who's calling it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I was always interested in how people have been working on those things over the last few months with limited time with each other. So has it just been kind of quite heavy on the tactics for the last few weeks since collective training's resumed?
The first time we started, it was a internal match against with the Inters. So we did it the first day or whatever. He was going through like the whole setup with forwards, midfields and everything. So for the puck outs and everything. So we have like, it's just the system just works really well, like with the full forwards, and we've like, it's just working immaculate, like at the minute. Like, we're pulling through with scores, goals, everything.
What's your specific role in those puck out techniques?
So I'd be either a cornerback or a halfback. So basically, if the goalie sees whatever is in front of her and I'm free, say I can get the ball. Like, it doesn't have to play the whole system the whole way through the match. Like, we don't have 3 setups. There's always just play what you see as well. So we've 4 basically, actually, when you think about it.
How long does it take to get up to a level of familiarity with those puck out routines where it becomes second nature?
I suppose it's just kind of repetitive now. It's like we always do it in training. We always go through it. Management always talk about it in our group chats, do videos explaining the system constantly over and over again, like just going through it. So it just helps familiarize yourself with it.
You guys have a new management team this year. I can't tell if that's a great time for a new management team to be coming in or a bad time for a new management team to win. What's your view?
Yeah, it was kind of like confusing.
Yeah.
You know? Like, fair play to the management though that have come on board. They're doing a brilliant job with us. So I can't fault that anyways.
And how did they manage to keep on top of things during lockdown when you weren't able to do collective sessions?
With the management.
Yeah, I guess trying to get to know the players in their first season and the challenges that would have posed.
Yeah, I suppose like it doesn't take long to get to know the players, I suppose, when you're playing matches and training 3 to 4 times a week. So I suppose kind of just get to know them straight away. Like, we tell what positions we prefer to play in. We give feedback after most matches and trainings to management, strength and conditioning and coach. So we can text, call, like they're an open book, so it's ideal as well. Like, you can just get onto them. If you don't know something, they'll just explain it so you know about it.
For For sure. One other thing before we let you go, Orla, just to chat about was the subject of the dual player has been one that's come up quite a bit over the last few days. Like, I know you probably have played with people who would have played both codes. I'm not sure, did you play football up to a certain point as well?
Yeah, my club, yeah.
And it's interesting that at inter-county level there now seems to be a clamour towards the notion that players aren't being fully supported to be able to play both codes. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that sometimes the Camogie players who like to play football as well can be let down a little bit by fixtures and the planning of the games?
I think that's something that's always going to have to be resolved, like with the LGFA and Camogie Association. It's always going to be something that's, like, it's always been there. You know, it's just like now with the whole inter-county going ahead, I know, like, there's two counties that are, like, they're clashing with the dual, so they don't know what to be doing. So I know that Cork and a few, I think, who else is it? I know Cork have a football and Camogie match on the same day, so they're appealing that completely. They're like, if it's not changed, then we're not playing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So,
was your decision to specialise in Camogie just because that was clearly the one you were going to excel at? Had it anything to do with the fact that balancing football and Camogie was tough?
Growing up after minor, it got tough. Kind of like I was playing inter-county minor, club senior, and then football minor in the club. So it was kind of like, it was a lot to take on at the time. But I suppose I left the football for 2 years, came back to it now. So I'm kind of just working around it. Like, the club are very chill with the whole inter-county. Like, they know, they're asking if I'll come back next year. I probably will. Like, you know, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, it does seem that a club like Nafina
It's always
would
a
have...
tough decision growing up, you know?
That's it. And in Nafina, there would be a great culture of promoting both codes, really, wouldn't there? So I guess it's a really good environment to be in. So you were a dual player at minor level then, at county?
No, not a county.
Not a county, right?
I was playing the four, basically.
Yeah, well, hopefully the things get resolved, because I guess all people want is just for games to be on different days. Like, it's not even for a full week of a break, you know?
Exactly, that's the thing.
Listen, Orla, it's been great catching up. Best of luck with Championship, and hopefully everything goes off without a hitch.
Thanks a million.